Hello everyone, and now welcome to game 2 in the series between Alicia and Cats here, between Axiom and Root here on Daybreak. The game will be between Alicia and Cats, as Cats has spawned as the red Zerg on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Alicia has spawned as the blue Protoss. This is going to be Daybreak, one of the maps that has been part of the ladder map pool for quite some time. I hear it is being rotated out, and then most likely will be rotated out of the tournament scene as well. Now, Alicia spawning over here on the top right-hand side. He does have, he does build his pylon actually relatively close to his Nexus, which does come as a bit of a surprise to me. I was really expecting a forge fast expansion coming in from Alicia, and perhaps trying to play more of a little bit of an economic game, but Cats looks like he's going to be playing the economic game. He has not placed down an extractor or a spawning pool as of yet. And even if he places down the spawning pool now, it will be quite some time before anything serious happens. Alright, drone now making its way down onto the low ground. This is going to be the scouting drone, not the scouting drone, not the hatchery drone, as the hatchery drone should be followed up here in just a second. 15 hatchery, 14 spawning pool, as the overlords now make their way over. Now, there's always a question on whether or not Zerg players really should be scouting out with this early drone, since the overlord already gets to the other side of the map pretty quickly. You can see that this drone is going to be coming down over here, doesn't spot anything on the low ground, and now takes a look inside. He's like, okay, I see a gateway, I see an assimilator, there's 3 probes on here. What are you doing? This is not the typical build you see in a PvZ at all, and Cats now will be forced to play on 2 bases for a little while longer, perhaps getting up a Roach Warren and making sure that if there is any sort of gateway push, he is able to defend it. Now, we do see a probe back over here trying to harvest some minerals, or rather disrupt the harvesting of minerals. And it's these small little tricks that really go a long way. You can see that while the probe, is the probe going to get? Nope, probe does not get the resources there. Coming back over here, and now going to force that drone to delay its mining again. Beautifully done, as Alicia just making sure that Cats is just perhaps a little bit of a second behind each step of the way. Now, what is Alicia's follow-up play going to be? He does have 400 minerals for a Nexus, and he will be placing that down here. And this is a bit of a head-scratcher for me. He's not going to be aggressive. He's not going to warp in additional gateways anytime soon, but at least he will have access to that warp gate technology. Perhaps that is what he was going for. He wanted warp gate early on so that he could train up these units faster and play a little bit more defensively. Oh, that's right. This is not the typical Forge Fast expansion. This is the Mothership core expansion. And what you use here is that the Mothership is there and can actually use that photon overcharge onto the Nexus in order to be able to push back any initial harassment. You're going to now see gateways being placed down here on the low ground, a little bit more of a tower defense style, where the Zerglings and Roaches will have to run all the way around the Nexus in order to get out, exposing themselves to that 13 range cannon. Now, what is this Mothership core looking to do? It is still flying around, taking a look, does spot an overlord, armored mechanical psionic. It is not a massive unit. I could have sworn that it was. Alright, not a massive unit, as we now see Alicia just putting pressure here on the 3rd base. This is a very interesting strategy, as the Queen is now making its way over. Is the Mothership core gonna perhaps be able to take it down, as Alicia is getting off some easy shots onto the hatchery, but the hatchery will still continue to be constructed, as the Mothership core is looking to back off. Alright, 3 gateways at the front door, 1 zealot holding position. Alright, warp gate tech should be coming online. That is a lot of chrono boost to be saved up. Not quite sure what Cats or Alicia is having in mind for all of this. And this is, I gotta believe, a bit of a mistake, but not that but not that big of a mistake. We can see that there are some proxy pylons now coming in across the map. Alicia should be able to put some pressure once more onto the hatchery at the very least, and try and get a cancellation, as the Mothership core currently down excuse me, the Mothership core currently down to only 17 hit points on the shields, or 17 shield points, and now what is going to be the follow-up play? Alicia moving out with the Zealot Sentry. Zerglings are going to try to push their way in. This is not going to be a good fight at all for Cats. What is Cats going to be doing here? As we don't see any spine crawlers. Alright, here comes the engagement. The Queen now pushing all the way back here. Here you go. There's the engagement. Zealot does get surrounded. This is not what you wanted to see. And Alicia really just focusing down the hatchery as opposed to going for the units at all. He wants to make sure the Zerg economy is pretty much at a standstill as the Zealots are still reinforcing. Both sides engaging here. Queen, well, one of them will get taken down. A beautiful force field preventing the Zerglings from really getting into that engagement whatsoever. As the sentries, the Mothership core, and the Zealots are absolutely cleaning everything up. Alright, Cat's now trying to back away. The Roach does get off a little bit of spit damage here as another Queen will get taken down. Zerglings now trying to make their way over. They're not going to be able to get through this time warp all that quickly as we now see more units getting taken down again. Sentry now finally down. But it looks like the Mothership core is going to be there in time. There's the recall, saving a couple of units. Nicely done. Mothership core has returned home after taking down that hatchery. Now, harvester count is 34 to 36. Probe saturation is fairly even. 17 over 24, 15 over 24 here. We still need to see some more gas come in from Cats, but Cats needs to stay on his toes now as he is behind. He doesn't have a macro hatchery at this point, and without that macro hatchery, he's not going to get that Zerg engine running. That was the reason why he tried to establish up his third, but Alicia was just one step ahead and was able to take that down with a very well-timed Mothership Zealot Sentry pressure. Now, it looks like Alicia will be following all of this up now with a Stargate. Is it going to be Void Rays, or is it going to be some sort of harassment units such as Phoenixes or Oracle? It looks as though it will, in fact, be the Void Ray, and the Void Ray composition is actually very strong right now. Alright, Mothership core is in position. Phoenix is in the air. And the reason why I say Void Rays are so strong right now is that with the current composition that Alicia has, Alicia could train out a whole bunch of Zealots, and Zealot Void Ray composition or combinations are extremely, extremely powerful. They're able to deal a lot of damage as the Hydralisks generally just melt away. A Void Ray going to get off a very easy, quick kill there as the Roaches are now forced to retreat. I don't see any. Oh, there is one proxy pylon back over here. Will it get spotted? That is the question. The Zerglings, did they spot it? Do the Roaches spot it here? No, just beyond sight range. And that is oh so close as Alicia going to be able to reinforce pretty much at the front door of Cats. Alright, second Void Ray. No, sorry, third Void Ray now being trained. Second Void Ray already underway. We do have level 3 air weapons upgrades. That does mean that the Void Rays will be dealing, I believe, 24 or 22 damage per attack. 22 damage per second. A little bit less if the units are in fact not armored or have higher armor than, higher armor than 1. Or 0, for that matter. Alright, Zealot now doing a little bit of a chase around the Zelnaga Tower here. The Zergling is going to be able to just run circles as we now see Cats moving forward with a rather large army. He does not have that many Hydralisks, and with only of these 7 or 8 Hydralisks here, or 9 Hydralisks, they are going to get focused down rather quickly. Time Warp will make those Hydralisks move pretty slowly, and they do have groove spines, but they do not have muscular augmentation. And muscular augments, and because of that, they're not going to be able to really do all that much. Alright, there's that photon overcharge, pushing back the units. The Mothership core does get taken down. A bit of an over push there. Hydralisks now being pushed back. Sentries and Zealots, Void Rays doing everything they need to do, capturing all of those Hydralisks, and that is pretty much going to be that fight there. Beautifully done. 4 Void Rays cleaning up Hydralisks, Roaches, and Zerglings. Alright, Alicia is going into 3 Stargate Void Rays, chrono boosting all 3. That does reduce the amount of time it takes to train a Void Ray from 60 seconds down to 50. If you follow it up with another quick chrono boost, it does go down to 40 seconds, and perhaps one of the fastest units you can train. And only 40 seconds. Here we go. Zergling's now backing off again. Or not fastest units, most powerful units you can train at 40 seconds. Alright. Wow, my voice is really starting to go. Let's just take a look into what the players are trying to do here. Cats, at this point, knows that he needs to find a way and deal damage. He is even on bases. He knows that Alicia has these Void Rays. Hey, Axlav. He knows that Alicia has these Void Rays, and those Void Rays... Those Void Rays are going to be very, very problematic. Now, beyond that, the Hydralisks are going to try and focus down all of these units. And this is where the Sentries and the Mothership Core comes in. The Mothership Core, with Time Warp, should be able to zone out many of the units in the center. You can see that the center Zelnaga Tower now going to get focused down. And Cat is now using Swarm Host to try and fight this back. He's banking on the fact that Alicia doesn't have detection, because he's spent so much gas on Void Rays. You can see that the Void Ray count is up to 11 with 2 more on the way, and now you see Swarm Hosts coming out to engage. The Swarm Hosts are not going to be that effective here, and only if the Swarm Hosts could attack air units would this be of any serious threat. Here we go. Battling it out, you can see Prismatic alignment coming online, Swarm Hosts all falling. If there was detection, Queens now falling as well. Overlords quickly getting taken down, and all the Void Rays need to do is just simply attack move at this point. Simply too many Void Rays to really stop this, and the Mothership Core is still has plenty of energy for more Time Warps, making that range of 6 ever so powerful on all of these units. Spore Crawlers now trying to make their way over. Hydralisks now pushing their way in. Is it going to be enough? Prismatic alignment now coming in. It looks like Hydralisks all going to get taken down, one after another, and Alicia just walks a couple of Void Rays into the Zerg base. And I believe that is going to be GG. Worker kill count 7-6, but these hatcheries are going to get taken down in a matter of seconds. One hatchery already down to, I believe, under 300 hit points. There you have it. There's the GG. As Cats loses game 2, and Axiom Alicia takes a 2-0 lead in this series.